shot. Of course, 3/5 of Mad Lions playing on SK, a lot of success with that roster. Can you step back and look at the likes of, the Spanish League versus the LEC and how the different experiences or where the uniqueness is?
Yeah, I mean, the difference is massive just between...
Don't play in Spanish League.
Just between the level of teams and players and bot lanes and just the macro game, just everything. But the crowd in the Spanish League is still pretty great, so yeah. But overall, playing against players like Upset, Reckless, Hans, it's just really good. It's a really good experience, and I feel like I'm learning a lot every time I play against them.
Welcome back to the LEC Spring Split, where SK Gaming are looking to bounce back after an 0-2 week. Now, you heard it from Crownshot. Big level up for what was pieces of a Mad Lions roster as they came in. And I feel like we were so excited about this team when they hit the ground, when they beat Fnatic. We talked about it earlier today, and I feel like we have to say it again. We were ready. We were hyped for SK to be the next big thing, but it just doesn't seem like it's gone anywhere.
Yeah, they've stalled out a little bit. And again, it's the fact that when you go to this roster, you always want to hone in on Selfmade. You can sing all of his praises, but unfortunately, someone else needs to step up in that conversation for SK Gaming to be worth talking about. They have clean fundamentals, but they need to turn that next page from Mad Lions to SK Gaming.
And this team has shown some strong points outside of just Selfmade. It does feel like they've set themselves up for success in draft to pull off some very good team fights, some very impressive individual performances in those fights as well.
Yeah, you have strong mechanical players. Dreams particularly, I think, has kind of flown under the radar. You know, when G2 tried to step to SK, they did eventually roll them over in G2 fashion, but Dreams made sure that they had to work for a little bit. So SK, when you do try to get scrappy and skirmishy with them, they can bite back.
Absolutely. But as we kind of wait for one of those members to step up around Selfmade, as we wait to see the next evolution of this SK roster, I do want to shift our attention to Splyce on the opposite side, because this is another team that has kind of stagnated in a similar vein. Now, obviously much higher up in the standings, but this is a team that's always been looking to evolve past their gatekeeper role, and it just doesn't feel like it's quite happened yet.
So the question is about what do you change for Splyce to make sure that they're not just gatekeepers, but gatecrashers? And we use that phrasing a lot, and I think I've got it. Splyce are basically the Charmeleon to SK Gaming's Charmander. These are two teams that are very good at fundamentals, and SK Gaming are just effectively the worst Splyce at it. But for Splyce to turn into Charizard, what they need to do is get better with their creativity. When they have a map reset, when they've neutralized all their waves, when they get to pick, okay, we're going after Baron, we're going after mid tower, we're going after Elder Dragon, they are so clean at setting that up and following the exact steps. Problems happen, though, when they need to be creative and problem solve on the Rift, when the enemy team pushes back and Splyce have to adapt and react quickly.
And honestly, just waiting to see that level 36 come through for either team, see that final evolution for both of these squads. It's going to be a close fight when these two teams clash on the Rift. Let's see who comes out on top.
Thank you very much, Dracos. I'm taking a look at whether or not SK will evolve to Charmeleon and whether or not Splyce will be able to evolve to Charizard. Did you have the shinies back in the day?
Well, no. I got the red Gyarados.
Okay, nice.
Literally everyone got him.
Now, for me, of course, as Foxtrot, I'm sure you know, I am one of the older members of the team.
Yes.
I only know 151 Pokemon, because all of the rest are just made up nonsense. And
well, that's the most important, 151.
I couldn't buy into them, you know?
No, so, that's fine. I'm sure when you were playing it back in the day, when you were drawing your cave paintings on the wall of the different Pokemon.
That's actually what it looked like on my Game Boy, so pretty close to it.
There you go.
Let's turn our attention to the draft. SK Gaming will be on the blue side. We heard from Crownshot talking about the level of play on stage, and we were both a bit shocked by the Game 1 draft earlier today.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll see some more shenanigans? We're still playing 9.2, or go back to the power picks, Urgot, Aatrox, Akali, etc.?
Yeah, I think we'll still see loads of the power picks, the presence of them at least. Like, I think it's to be expected in this patch right now. You can see they're on the stage behind SK. Good old Broken Shot.
Yeah, stepping in, interim coach for Sheepy, who is not on stage this week. And I mean, he was with us at EU Masters, if I remember.
He was with us at EU Masters. He is currently coaching SK's ERL team, so he has some familiarity with the team as well. And as we go into this draft, we see that SK has actually banned the Silas away, so we won't be getting him in Game 2.
All right, and Akali is banned, Alistair banned, Karthus and Rise, so a little bit more comfortable for me.
Yeah.
But the Urgot is still up, the Aatrox is still up, and traditionally they have been sort of picks one into the other.
Yeah, the
a fair
handshake
amount.
picks, absolutely. So I would be expecting the Urgot first pick here because he's the more, he's the, ooh, okay, yeah, this is another one we haven't seen too much of as well. Cassiopeia, all right, so this is, ooh, Trevor, mate. You're picking your poison here with which OP you want to go for. They've opted into the Cassio, but that does mean that we're going to see Urgot on the other side, and arguably the strongest AD carry on this patch, Lucian as well, going over to Kobe.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not going to play the Draven in lane, the Lucian
Yeah.
seems to be very high priority. Interestingly, I mentioned in the previous game, it was the first time that Cassio went unpicked or unbanned for the entire year here in Europe. The 3 times it has been picked, they've been losses.
Yeah.
And now we're going to see Pyrion, giving it a shot.
It might be crown shot as well. This is the thing, is that the strength the strength of Cassiopeia is that she's like a triple flex, but she's very strong in that bot lane as well. So I think securing the Lucian makes it quite important because you can run into the Cassio.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I think it's fine. I mean, yeah. Cassio's had 100% presence for a reason, right? She's very strong. So it's like, if I'm going to get squashed by 10 tons or 11 tons, what am I choosing?
Yeah.
Well, 10 sounds fine, but it's still difficult, but it's, one of the easier matchups.
And of course, you've obviously got the Sion locked in, so this will give Werlib or Crownshot a little bit more information to work with. We know that Urgot and LeBlanc locked in, so bot laners and junglers, the only question marks really in whether or not Werlib goes there or they pick something else. Phase 2, so what is still up? Irelia, like a lot of top tier junglers are still available as well.
Yeah. We might actually see a lot of solo lane bans coming through here. Because, if it depends where Cassiopeia goes. Because if it is a bot lane, and it looks like Splyce are anticipating that Cassio to go bot, that's why they banned Alessandra. Because if it's going mid, right, you've got your 2 solo lanes there. So I think we might see Splyce choke that out. And if that's the case, then I'm not sure why Ornn is being banned.
Support. Ornn support.
Oh, okay.
We've seen it played quite a bit over in LCK, actually.
Yeah.
Few different options.
This is the new Ornn as well, where you can get the...
upgrades for free.
Absolutely.
And also combine the Ornn initiation plus the finish off of Urgot and LeBlanc. That's the only question. Corki banned away, so that would probably be mid lane into the LeBlanc.
Yeah. So this is one of those where it's an easier matchup for Corki if you play into that LeBlanc, because you can just push quite hard and you're not really at too much threat from the LeBlanc because you can optimize into the Hex Drinker. Of course, this does mean that Cassin is still open. You can pick that one into the LeBlanc.
Ooh, interesting. Let's see what happens. The last
this
ban...
isn't Fnatic, sorry.
It didn't go so well for them.
No, it
last
did
ban
not.
is the Olaf. Look into your crystal ball for me, Foxtrot.
Okay.
What junglers would you like to see?
I want to see Xin Zhao coming through for Xerxes. I don't even know if he's ever played Xin Zhao, but I want to see it. People don't put a high priority on Xin. Maybe I'm just biased because it's the only champion that I can play. But outside of that, I think that it's really good in that early game. You banned away the Olaf, which is very hard to play into the Xin. And I think, you have strong lanes with the LeBlanc, you have strong lanes with the Urgot, you've got the Pyke Lucian bot lane here as well. If you have a strong jungler that's going to beat that 1v1, then suddenly you have complete control of the map, and you're really going to give it to SK.
Well, shout out to the Pyke and or Norskeren fan in the audience, because as soon as that was locked in, there was one hell of a shout. And of course, if this cannon does get locked in, we assume this will be for Werlib. It is definitely a Werlib special.
Yes.
Any legacy European viewers will know Werlib used to play that a lot, and Jim Bones used to play it in the AD carry. It was their flex 4 years ago. But now we get to see the junglers, whether it's going to be the tanky ones or the more aggro. You mentioned it, Selfmade has not played Xin. This will be his first game of Xin Zhao on the LEC stage.
But Selfmade has been a standout performer for SK. I mean, he's playing Sejuani like you would play Xin Zhao. He plays Sejuani like the weaker jungle matchup in the 1v1 with full confidence, brings it to the enemy team, and I mean, he threads the needle with those ultimates. And it's in different style of champion, but you can absolutely play around most of your lanes here. So we talked about the Cassiopeia. It's a Nocturne locked in for Xerxes. That's a bit more of a Xerxes special here. Not a bad choice, actually. I think that this rounds out the comp a little bit more, and very good into Xin as well. In the pure 1v1, decent into Xin. Not quite as good in the early game as far as affecting the map.
Okay.
But won't be bullied by Xin Zhao.
Well, I want to break down that matchup when we get in-game, because I want to look at Selfmade and Xerxes and the impact they have. But if we zoom out a little bit, what are we seeing from these team comps? It feels to me a little bit more skirmish or pick-focused on Splyce sides.
Yeah, I think that Splyce are looking to have that kind of push in their lanes. And then from that, you kind of just, if you want to do, you have control of the map and then you can do whatever you want to do, basically. But it really depends. Like, I think a lot of it's going to come down to the Kennen Urgot matchup, because this is one that I'm just not 100% sure about how the LEC teams are going to play this and how whether they want to play around it or not, because we have seen the Kennen is run into the Urgot, so it's a very deliberate counter pick here. And we've seen it had great success, but we've also seen not so much, specifically the XL Misfits game. So has picked Kennen into Expects Urgot.
Okay.
And kind of got dumpstered.
Yep, did not go well.
No, and that really shouldn't happen. So I'm just thinking, it really depends on that, honestly.
So let's step back and look at some of the other roles, specifically on SK. So you've covered the Kennen with Whirlit, but Perian playing Sion, this is a big departure. He's played Lissandra, Aatrox, LeBlanc, Zoe. Now he's on tank duty.
Yeah.
Crown Shot, who, by the way, had a pretty disappointing AD carry performance last week, especially on the Ezreal. Now he's pivoted to, you know, an AP carry.
Yes.
What do you make now of some of those swaps?
Well, this is it for Crown Shot especially, is if he hasn't had the best performances previously, SK is definitely saying, yo, we trust you. Let's put you on a good carry here. Let's put you on one of the strongest bot lanes that's banned out almost all the time. And then we'll set you up for success. How's that sound? So a lot of it does come down on his shoulders.
What I really like about this is we set you up for success. So you're already turning attention to the other 4 members of the team. And I guess it is true, right? You need to be able to create the space for Cassio to hit those twin fangs. I do actually have some stats that I can throw your way, Foxtrot. Take a look at Crown Shot. Some of the numbers in his wins versus his losses. Now, it's important to know SK Gaming have 2 wins and have 4 losses. And they are pretty much polar opposites.
Yeah, night and day.
Plus 3,000 versus minus 3,000. Plus 1.2k gold versus 1.4 at 15 minutes. And look at the damage share. When the team is winning, it's when Crown Shot is being enabled. Yep. When the space is being created. When he's not, Arcane shifting into Canes. So, you know, not going to be able to have the opportunity to do that this time. But let's look at what Selfmade, Period, and Dreams can do to allow a lot of that to happen.
Yeah, you've got to be careful with your positioning as well. If you're playing someone like Cassiopeia versus the likes of Pyke and with Nocturne coming through as well. Because if you don't have that protection, you're a little bit vulnerable. But, you know, SK have drafted to kind of be aware of that. You've got the Thresh Lantern to protect you if you need to. You have that front line coming through where SK are very good at going forward. And then, you know, Crown Shot can just sit in the back throwing out Twin Fangs. So he should be in a decent spot in these team fights if they decide to go for those. Again, just needs to be careful with his positioning, not getting too caught out.
Yeah, and assume he doesn't get insta-geared by Nocturne, LeBlanc, Pyke. Good luck on that one.
Yes. Well, yeah, we'll see how that one goes.
Okay, so talk to me a little bit more about this jungle matchup, specifically the Nocturne into Xin. You mentioned you like Nocturne early.
Yeah.
I mean, the Duskbringer AD and the Fear just makes dueling so powerful.
Yeah, exactly. This is the thing, is that you have a bonus AD on your Q plus the damage on your Q. Getting a bit of a trade in bot lane. That might have to be... Scaran fancies it. He's got Ignite.
Summoner heals available. Ignite is seeking. No! That's first blood picked up with the help of a minion. I take it back. There's no Summoner heal available because Crown Shot's running the teleport. And now Selfmade, he's caught out of position, trying to run for his life and manages to escape for now. But yeah, that didn't work well. Scaran with a great Bone Skewer.
Great Bone Skewer, and this is the downside to... You mentioned the Summoner Heal. If you have teleport on your carries, which enables you to get more superior recalls and get better backs into the lane, then you don't have that extra combat summoner. And without that, then things like that can happen. And Dream just steps up a little bit too much there. And, you know, Lucian, Pyke, I mean, I know that with Cassiopeia, you expect to draft that aggressive lane and to have that strength in that lane, but you still got to be careful. I mean, yeah, he's dead already.
Just punished. So Splyce, very happy with the start. So she's going to steal away the Scuttle as Selfmade step forward. And another small advantage to Splyce. They did not get the bottom. Rift Scuttler. And I'm going to take a look at this. I mean, Dream's just... Oh, the Flay completely whiffed.
Completely whiffed the Flay, and then it's like you're still playing versus Lucian, who's not too bad at level 1 with his passive where he can double shot. And you can see, you know, if you're playing versus Ignite and there is no heal, then you are pretty vulnerable. And you know, just overstepped a little bit. Now, I don't think this is enough to completely throw the lane for these guys. Okay. SK is still in a... I mean, it's not great, but it's, you know, they're okay for now. Like, it's not going to completely tilt it in one favor.
Gold is completely even between the carries. Yes, it's plus 400 for Scaran.
Yeah. The important thing is that Crown Shot didn't die, so he didn't lose anything there, really. So it was, you know, just a little bit extra gold for Scaran, but it's not going to 100% flip this matchup in any way. I want to talk a little bit about, as we can see Perian here as well. stopping Humanoid from getting it back as well. That is irritating.
It's so frustrating.
But
Sion in lane just just yells at you the whole time and just winds you up. So what do you like about the matchup?
It's very loud. He is extremely loud. The thing about this matchup is that you pick this Sion because you just want to completely nullify this mid lane. Like, LeBlanc is a very explosive type of champion. She's someone that can get kills, and when she snowballs, she's really hard to play against. And then she can kind of leverage that strength from the mid lane and put it all over the map. But when you have a Sion against you, Sion just, like you say, yells at you and kind of just nullifies that lane.
Oh, Dreams this time round finds the flay, but the death sentence goes wide. No target secured. Selfmade looks for the engage with the flash, trying to find the knockup.
He's not got it.
Garen is running away with his life, but here comes Period. No ultimate available. Now Splyce get jumped on one more time. Selfmade continues to look for some pressure. Another missed death sentence. Dreams is not finding the skill shots, and Splyce return the damage. Find themselves a kill into Selfmade. Remember, SK started that play.
Visicharge uses TP on that right there, but fortunately he's not going to lose a huge amount, because if you look at the lane positioning in that top lane, Visicharge had just pushed in Whirlib. So there were no minions there for him to lose, and he's going to get a quick recall and run back. He might lose like half wave, maybe a minion wave, not a huge amount. But still, SK just over-chasing right here. They're trying really hard to get this bot lane going, where they've drafted this Cassiopeia, who usually gets banned. You said last game was the first time we've seen Cassiopeia not picked or banned. She is an extremely contested pick, and when you get her, you want to utilize her, you want to unlock her, and thus far, it's really not working for SK. So as we can see, a Lantern engage. This is pretty standard setup here. But Kobe blowing his flash means you have to turn Norscaron, and honestly, at this point, when you've got the flash and you've got the summoners, you should just back off, especially since you know this is going down right here. But just a little bit too greedy, honestly, and you can kind of understand why. SK think they're in the driving seat, and they've also got a team comp that did this jungle pick especially, you know, they want to be able to do stuff at this stage of the game. They want to be able to bully the enemy team, but it's really not happening, and they find themselves 1,000 gold down just 6 minutes.
I mean, it's really, really painful, and you've got to give credit, of course, to Splyce for turning it around and finding the kills. I mentioned the fact that the 3 games Cassio's been played, 0 wins.
Yeah.
One of the losses was with Humanoid. Wasn't able to pick it up, and now it obviously looks like Crownshot is going to be in a little bit of trouble. There's a small CS advantage, but it doesn't really matter when you see how Splyce are responding, and they've got control on the map. And look at Norscaron. Going fishing once more. It's the bone skewer, can't be disabled, and actually looked like Norscaron bounced backwards from that one. But I mean, ultimate down, so it's an engage tool. The window of opportunity not available for Period and SK. And Xerxes very close to this top lane. No ultimate available though, so no risk for a dive here.
So I talked about this top lane matchup a little bit in the draft, about how teams often pick Cannon into the Urgot. But this is... What Visicharge has been able to do this game is totally fine. Like, he's totally happy with this one, because he's still able to have, he's getting pushed in, he's got that priority in his lane, so he's able to do things like this, where you then invade into the jungle, get some vision down. If Xerxes wants to go for this Herald at some point, or little things like contesting the Scuttle Crab, he can do that. And that all contributes to him being able to get that level 6 as fast as possible, because as soon as that happens, Nocturne gets unlocked, and he starts paranoying people and just being a huge thorn in the side of SK, and then that's when the jungle matchup really turns in Nocturne's favor.
I mean, let's talk about the 2 junglers as players now, because we've got some stats prepared. We can look at the team jungle proximity, the amount of time that the jungler spends, in the early game around their team, and Xerxes got a slightly higher percentage, is more effective with his time. They have a similar, kill participation, but Xerxes, I think, is a little bit more versatile and diversifies his moves. Selfmade traditionally goes top then bottom, and last week we did see him spend some time middle, but it was Selfmade creating a gank in the bottom lane that didn't work. That's cost SK.
Well, you could argue that maybe SK should have stuck to their guns a little bit and still play around Whirlib. I mean, I think when they have been more versatile, well, when they have been less versatile, I should say, they've had more success. And then when they've tried to mix it up a little bit and maybe try to unlock or spend some time in different places, it's really just, it just doesn't seem like it's quite there. You have to remember as well that Whirlib and Selfmade were on the same team before they got into the LEC. They were both playing on Mad Lions. Crownshot as well was part of that squad, but even back then, it was very clear that Nemesis as well was the mid lane on that team. It was a very much solo lane focused team, and Selfmade, At this point right now, if he wants to go top, it's going to be extremely hard to kill Urgot, because that's just Urgot.
Yep, exactly.
So now he's in a bit of a pickle, honestly.
And
what he
you
wants
can
to do.
see Vizicachi fancies an aggressive play. He's got Flash Ignite with the Spellbook, and Xerxes got access to the Paranoia. It feels like it's just a matter of time. Humanoid is going to get caught out by Decimating Smash, and Selfmade's just chilling.
Is he DC'd?
He's waiting. This very clearly an observer bug.
Okay.
Can only apologize about that one.
Yeah, okay.
And once again, Takeover. Oh, beautifully
Nice.
done! Stun for stun. Dreams, I'm not sure what you're trying to lasso, but there was no one there, mate.
That was a lack of faith. He didn't believe in Crownshot and the Petrifying Gaze. He thought instantly that Crownshot was in trouble and he wanted to disengage, but it wasn't the case. Humanoid here, though.
Oh, let's take a look at this.
flash.
Oh, period. That's a face plant. Doesn't find the target. That means Selfmade cannot jump onto Humanoid. And let's give credit where it's due. Humanoid did flash away to safety.
That's a spellbook heal, just in case you're wondering why he randomly heals at the end of that play there. But yeah, that is the flash down from LeBlanc, and this will mean that, and with the position of the mid and bot lane, that we can go for an Infernal Dragon here. And Xerxes is looking to see whether he can do something on the other side of the
Okay,
map.
this is a good play for SK Gaming.
It is.
They understand they've got pressure in multiple lanes. They force bot, they force mid, and they secure the first dragon. And of course, this will open up the Rift Herald. I'm looking at the minimap. No ultimate for Pyrion. He's sitting in Flash Ignite if he wants to jump
Splyce
in.
can't do
Whirlip
this.
could look for an engage, but Whirlip single-handedly stops the Herald, so that's a good macro call.
Vizicachi was a little bit low on health right there, and you can't go for that play. Even though the Sign ulti is on cooldown, if you're chunked out that low, you really can't go for that Herald there. So SK absolutely, they got the Herald for basically free, which was really good by them. And I'm still waiting for Xerxes' first Nocturne ulti. It's a huge point when you get that first Nocturne ult down. If you're playing in solo queue, the best advice for Nocturne ulti, bomb it down bot lane, just lane gang bot lane and gang that with your ult. And honestly, this isn't solo queue, but I just want to see him do the same. Like we even saw Crownshot and Dreams kind of do a bit of an aggressive play. You know Norscaren's going to be able to set you up. He's a very good support and he's on Pike.
Yeah,
so
exactly. He's done it multiple times this game already.
Yeah.
When do you think it's too late?
For
So it's 11 minutes in, and back in the olden days, when you look at champions like Shen, like Nocturne, the first time they use their ultimates, Karthus is another one. If it doesn't work, you get nervous. If the second one doesn't work, you're like,
Yeah.
okay, donezo, right? So, like, level 7, 11 minutes in, we haven't seen Xerxes particularly, gank heavy. He hasn't needed to be.
Yeah.
But, I always wonder, like, is it bad? Is it too late?
I mean, I don't think it's too late because the window hasn't closed. But I feel like he is missing an opportunity here to be able to use that. And without it, I think his lanes could be... He could be setting up his lanes for a bit more.
Okay.
They could be a bit more ahead at this point, basically. He could be punishing SK a little bit more as well. But, Splyce, then they're okay at being patient. So if he wants to be patient, then he'll be patient and they'll find something else.
And of course, Splyce just brute forced their way onto the Rift Herald. SK did start it, but Splyce have roamed. Norscaren left his lane. And Norscaren's going to go fishing if Pyrion steps forward.
I mean, if they Herald here, Selfmade is in spawn right now. Like, this is totally free right here. They're going to get at least 2 plates, maybe even 3.
Well, let's see if they stick around to collect the gold. They are within range this time around.
Oh, boy.
There's at least the poop, and there you go. You can see the animation. But look at SK Gaming. If Crownshot does get involved and put the Miasma down, it is hugely impactful into champions like Pike and LeBlanc. Phantom Undertow goes forward. That's a good enough stun. Petrifying Gaze completely misses the important targets, and Humanoid is yet to be touched. But here comes Pyrion. Great, that was a nice ultimate, but there's no damage follow-up. Crownshot's not close enough. Norscaren's running for his life, but Xerxes is in trouble. You're going to find the blast code. Defensive flashes. How did nobody die?
That was ridiculously close. The first Xerxes ult of the game, and it almost got him killed, but Pyrion!
Oh my goodness!
Over, just the tip over the wall.
Norscaren, that was beautiful. It's not done yet. Vizicachi will force the flash away from Whirlib. And that was just so nicely done. Going fishing and catching Pyrion.
That was back and forth right there, though, that whole team fight. That was something special. I wasn't... That is such a risky recall, though, from Pyrion. Like, right over a wall, and you can get grabbed over that wall as well with Pike's Bones Skewer. Ooh, I think he was asking for trouble, and he certainly got it.
Yeah, definitely. I think we have to put that one up for big plays. Add that to the roll for end of next week. 2-0-1, by the way. Norscaren's Pike. It feels like things are happening when he punishes an SK mistake.
Yeah, and this right here is almost the complete opposite, where Splyce will almost make a mistake that SK can punish. Right here, Pyrion goes way too far forward, but because he's in his ulti, he actually gets a triple knockup, which SK can then re-engage on. And SK's team comp is still pretty strong at this stage of the game. So really low health from Xerxes running away there. He's on like one hit, puts on the disco strobe. And is there, where's the ward
Was
there?
that blind?
Wait, is there a way to...
I think
No,
if
I'm
you
checking
rewind,
that.
you can look at the vision. That was
I'm
blind?
checking that.
Okay, observers, roll that back. Okay, wait, observers are doing it for us.
Okay.
Yeah, this is worth. Thank you,
Wait,
observers.
what? No. He did not just do that blind.
I cannot
What?
believe that.
What was that?
Okay, actually, that is disgusting. Like, literally, Berlin's floor, like, the jaws are on the floor. People are looking around going, nonsense. Nonsense.
That is... What? Okay, Jaro, help
so-
me. What am I meant to say about that?
Okay.
I saw that.
I have one thing that I can say,
Okay.
which I'll get to in a moment, just in case Selfmade decides to engage. Cobby, no flash. Not going to get jumped on just yet. We were talking off air, and we're talking about players, and we're talking about, you know, what we're looking forward to in the match. And Dad Foxdrop. Oh, hold this thought. There's the engage from Norscarin. Finds a pike hook and not going to be following up just yet. Death from below comes down. Hourglass has been used. Xerxes is the first one to go down. Paranoia helped only a little. There's one for Cobby. They're trading kills back and forth. Imperial's looking to run down Norscarin. But Selfmade's left alone. He uses the Hourglass and Selfmade will be taken down. It ends up being a 2 for 3 in favor of Splyce.
Well, Lib's not able to get in onto that fight. Splyce going down, losing 2 members, but coming out on top overall. This is the thing, is like if you can't get your top laner in on that fight, especially a Kennen pick, who's actually really good in team fights. Let's not forget that. What is it the medic calls it? They have a special word for Kennen ulti, I can't remember. It's probably
Well, it was
terrible.
in combination with something else, the slicing doom room or something
Yeah,
like
something
that.
like that. Either way, we're not seeing that in this team fight. It all starts with an engage from Splyce / I don't know. Both these teams just want at each other's throats this game, and it's so back and forth. And this is the thing, is that Splyce at this point in the game, when you have that Lucian and that kind of mid-game, that 2-item, 1.5 item power spike, like he's strong at that point, and he's able to carry these team fights. And this is the first action we're seeing top lane, Joe.
It is.
First time we've seen it.
It does feel like a rerun of, you know, a disappointing move where the top lane is caught overextended.
Yeah.
It's like, great, Splyce got a kill, but Werlip shouldn't really have been
No.
there alone with no vision.
Yeah,
So-
it's... I mean, Xerxes, he gets a priority play on the map.
Yep.
So if we're looking at the positives here, Splyce can do that. And honestly, I think that his top lane has been a pretty big pressure point this whole game. Vizicharchi has been able to... Honestly, he's winning that top lane, I would say, as far as just the lane positions and who's able to then leave the lane because they've been able to push things in and stuff. So to be able to actually capitalize on that.
You know, I'm going to go back to something that Frostgurn said in the pre-match. Splyce and SK are fairly similar in their playstyles and the way they execute things. Splyce are just better at it.
Yeah.
So the basics, the fundamentals, if you were to compare them to basic Pokemon, you know, SK being Charmander and Splyce being Chameleon, however you say it in your native language. And we're seeing it this game. Like, Splyce are punishing the mistakes from SK.
Yeah.
The team fight, that last one, is pretty chaotic, pretty messy.
It is messy. Messy is a great word for this.
Yeah.
You know, if you're in football circles,
And
messy
chaotic.
is a positive word. If you're a Messi,
And then, of course,
if you're in
when-
league circles, Messi
Okay.
is not good.
took a few seconds. I'm a cricket fan myself, not
Okay.
football. So, but yeah, I mean, kudos to Splyce because individually they're just stepping up. I mean, look at the bounties. 450 for 3 of the members. They got a couple of big item spikes already. Blade of the Ruin King, Ludens, Black Cleaver. It's a 2.5, 3,000 gold lead. And it looks like Norscarin's going hunting. Dreams is already down as Cobby kills him from over the wall. Now it's a kill for Dragon. I still think SK will be happy with that, but that is another tilter. 0-3-1 for Dreams' Thresh. He's not having a great day.
And if we look at the bot lane gold totals in general, Cobby is 1,000 gold up on Crown Shop. And that's pretty good as we go into this late game. If Lucian can reach his 2-item power spike here, where he goes to that Black Cleaver, sorry, Blade and King into the Black Cleaver, which he's getting pretty close to, then he's very, very strong. And to be honest, I think this gets understated a little bit when you pick Pyke. If you get kills on Pyke, you itemize for lethality.
Yeah.
Like, you are actually very good with kills. And he is, you know, he's got a 600 gold bounty. Like, he's rich and he's strong. He can probably 1v1 some people.
I mean, he could probably 1v1 Crown Shot, if he gets the stun. I think if he gets CC, but it'd be close. I mean, it comes down to...
There'd have to be a bit of blue suede shoes going down, but, you know, he's strong, basically. Like, he's scary, and you have to be able to respect Noscaron, who's his playmaking ability this game. 6 out of 8 kills.
Yeah.
And he's doing really well.
And of course now, Noscaron may be caught out just a little. More Dreams. Gonna try to line up the lasso. Hasn't thrown the death sentence yet. Looking at the timers, okay, next Dragon, it's gonna be a few minutes away. Baron will be up shortly, it's gonna be 20 minutes into the game, and SK, they're setting their sights on this bottom tower.
It will be the first tower of the game if SK are able to pick this one up. To be honest, it's the first tower of either team. It's kind of hard to think that we're 20 minutes into the game and no towers have gone down.
I've just pinged the stats team.
Oh yes.
They'll quickly give me a stat on what the latest first time 2019. I would say quite confidently, this will be the latest.
Yeah.
But I'll wait for it to be verified as SK Gaming are now jumping onto the tower. Bone Skewer is being channeled at shot. Dreams manages to find the death sentence, the petrifying gaze, and this time round, Dreams and Crown Shot land the CC, take the tower down, 19 minutes and 56 seconds. Foxdrop, entertain the folks while I find out about that stat.
Well, in this situation here, Noscaron just gets blown up. Like, you can't get hooked in that situation. Xerxes is around to offer backup, and that's why Noscaron pushes up in that scenario. But hey, I mean, if you get hooked, if you get lassoed, that's it. You're done.
Keep rolling. They're checking the database.
Okay, we're checking the database here. We're getting the hamsters on the hamster wheels and see what we can do. Meanwhile, that's happening here. I was talking a bit about Xerxes, and you asked about whether the window is closed. Well, when is too late?
Yes.
For that Nocturne ultimate. We haven't really seen much out of that Nocturne pick just yet. However, having said that, it's not been a huge detriment to his team.
Yes.
And he can still do stuff with it. And Selfmade's still been able to do a lot, even though it's, you know, arguably I would say this is now favored in Nocturne.
It's a big database. They're still checking. And of course, Nocturne's ultimate has been used defensively, I think. Reactively, I feel like.
Yeah, definitely. And even then, not great.
Splyce have pretty much put their hand on SK's head as like the older brother, younger brother.
Yeah.
And like, swing, you know, try hit me. Try hit me. Yeah, because it just feels like Splyce have played a very good defensive game, a very good reactive game. They haven't necessarily needed to be too aggro unless it's Noscaron, who is still one of the most pivotal players of the team so far. And Cobby, you know, 7 out of the 8 kills, 6 out of the 8 kills. It's all been around this bottom lane. And for Cobby, the one remaining member on Splyce, continuing to stand up and step up for the squad.
I think if we can take a little step back here from the action that's been happening on our screens and talk about the stuff that we haven't really been seeing as much, specifically the solo lanes from Splyce, that's been some really good stuff. I mean, look at the CS lead that Humanoid, the rookie from Splyce, has been able to pull against Pyrion. And we've already mentioned a few times that Vizicachi in that top lane has had a lot of pressure against Warleb, and as such has been able to move out of that lane as much as he wants and enable Splyce to make those proactive plays with the initiative when they want to. So the solo lanes from Splyce doing some really good stuff right here, even though we haven't seen too much action around them. Nice. Credit.
Take a look at some damage coming out of Chachi. Still got flash available. Gets out of range of Pyrion. Now Pyrion goes for the re-engage. Chachi is still alive and still removing himself from the situation. Cobby gets nearly every single culling shot landing on SK. And again, SK just unable to land that final blow. It's 22 minutes in. There's still 3,000 gold down. And Splyce fairly comfortably walk away from that.
So, of course, as soon as I start praising the solo laners, Vizicachi eats a hook and almost dies. But that's just how it is, I suppose. SK poised to take the first mid tower in this game as well. This game has looked a little bit slow as far as what teams have been able to do. A lot of that is because the mid towers were still up. Now that that's down, the map opens up a little bit more, and we might see some more movements.
Okay, so while we've got a small moment of time, I think, is it too early to talk about the P word?
You're asking me a tough question there, Trevor. You know what? I am going to veto and say yes.
It is too early?
It's too early.
Okay. When can we talk about it?
Well, we're 23 minutes into this. Ocean Dragon is still alive. I think after the third dragon's dead, we might be able to dabble into the P word.
Okay, so we'll get in there. And the P word we're talking about is playoffs. And
Sweet four, Trevor.
Splyce, I wanted to know, are they a top 4 contender? They're currently in 5th place. They've got a win-loss of 3-3. And their next few games are Misfits, Fnatic, XL. Misfits, struggling. Fnatic, not looking great. I mean, if Splyce have a good shot at going 4-0
to
end the first half of the round robin.
their strength of schedule is definitely in their favor. Their future is in their own hands here. I mean, to be fair, I think the difficulty and what's exciting about the LEC this year is we don't know how Misfits are actually whether they're gonna fix their problems. Fnatic, whether they're gonna come back to form as well. Those could be two games that they demolish Splyce in,
yeah,
theoretically speaking. But you're absolutely on the money. Like, if you can go 4-0 here and you round yourself off to a 7-3 team, you're looking great.
And how do you feel watching Splyce at 24 minutes in, playing a fairly Splyce game? They weren't as proactive or as strong in the early game as we've seen maybe in the last week or two, but they haven't put themselves at risk, right? So I don't want to fault them for playing a safe style to maybe get a guaranteed win, right? They went 0-2 last week, so this could be a confidence game. But does it make you think that this is a top 4 team in Europe, or does it make you go, they're still 5th or 6th or 7th in your mind?
So I would say that to break into the top 4, you need to dethrone other teams, right?
Okay.
And you've got, G2, Vitality, Schalke, I think are quite clearly the top 3 teams in my opinion. So it really comes down to, how do Misfits perform? How do these other teams actually, how are they going forward?
And Foxtrot, for you, is it, well, just hold that thought as Norscare maybe looks for initiations. For you, it's more important to do well against the top teams? That was cheeky. There was no one to follow it up. Norscare's been trying that combo a couple times this game, getting the hook into the dive. But more important to play well against the top teams than it is to sort of smash the lower tier teams. Do you know what I mean? Because they're both displays of power, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I feel like Splyce aren't a top 3 team.
Okay.
Are they a playoff team? I think they can
Probably.
be.
Well,
Yes.
let's see if Humanoid can get any damage down as Chachi uses the cleanse to get away from the hook. Now the tower survives.
Where's one?
Once again, a defensive nocturnal. There's a Chachi goes down. Death sentence finds a target onto Kobe as he's taken out as well. Broken shot backstage, sitting in place of Sheepy. Very happy that SK found the picks on the tower. And for the first time, Splyce were not able to counterpunch.
And that was a 4v5 in favor of Splyce. They had the man advantage and lost 2 people, and now, unsurprisingly, SK are looking like they're going to go for this Baron play here, and Warlib is preemptively TPing here because whereas they use things to get those kills, Warlib still has his own up if they want to turn.
All right, Norscare forced to run for his life. Slicing Maelstrom is up by Warlib. He uses the Hourglass. Baron down to 50% HP. Xerxes has got his smite available and a flash to get into the pit. 2,000 HP. It's a smite fight in the pit, and Xerxes is way too late. But Humanoid picks off Warlib up in the top of the fight, and Norscare is running for his life. Humanoid's looking for Crown Shot, is low on mana. He cannot get the Twin Fangs. He cannot get the Miasma, and Crown Shot's forced to run for his life. Gets one last spell. They're not going to be able to do a lot more after that. Now, can Splyce turn this around? There's 4 members with Baron buff still alive. And Vizichachi can't clean it up. Only Warlib goes down for Baron.
Only losing 1 person, absolutely worth it right there. And oh my goodness, my heart as a jungler, it bleeds. All these champions picking unsealed spellbook. How do you go for the smite still? Pyrion securing that one as well in that situation. It's not the first time we've seen these hideous Baron plays where laners are actually taking it away. Splyce, looking
Hideous.
so hot.
Trust a jungler to use the word hideous.
It is hideous.
I find it invigorating.
Foul and violence. We take it out of the game. This is it where it all starts. So count the blue health bars right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and count the red ones.
Yeah, 5 of it. I mean, everything just landed. And you know what? I feel a little bad because I was like hammering on Dreams earlier for missing a lot of the skill shots. But now when the pressure is on and you have to land them, Dreams is hitting the key hooks.
Yeah. Dreams is doing really well, and Oscaron's done really well as well this game. Like, both of these supports are picking these proactive, aggressive supports, and they're finding the picks. And this is it where SK decide, okay, we killed 2 people, what we're going to do here, we're going to go for that Baron. Another hook lands onto Oscaron. Warlib goes a little bit too far forward here, but it's all good.
We're back to live, Foxtrot.
We're back to live.
As the Baron empowered SK Gaming are sieging into the base of Splyce. They force Vizichachi away, who's able to escape with his life thanks to the flash. Now Humanoid looking for a target on a Selfmade. Selfmade's still got the GA available to him, and the Sterix was proc thanks to those change. Inhibitor drops, Crown Shot. That made me a little nervous as he stepped forward to take the Lantern, but Splyce are looking for a chase. Remember again, Xerxes keeps using the Paranoia defensively, so he cannot chase on the exit, on the way out of the fight. SK escape, they've got the inhib, they've got control of the game.
And that was a very methodical intelligent inhibitor take right there as well. From a 2-14, SK have shown a bit of shakiness, perhaps a little bit of inexperience as well. Don't forget that a lot of their self-made crown shot, they're rookies. For them to be able to pick up that Baron and then go mid, get the objective and back out without losing anyone, self-made.
Yeah, good respect
is important.
Flash.
Yeah. Yeah, he's honestly, self-made is extremely intelligent jungler. That's one of the things that I've been very impressed with, seeing him and watching him play, is that he seems tilt-proof, and he's intelligent not just with his pathing, but just the way he looks at the game and the way that he plays the game. So this guy is, in my opinion, the backbone of SK, and you can see it, honestly. Like, he's got 100% kill participation in this game.
Foxtrot, I think that was a pretty safe opinion. Many people will feel self-made is the backbone of SK.
That's fair.
I'm just saying, bro. You know, it is pretty obvious.
I'll take a safe bet. That's okay.
But what is interesting, you know, earlier at the top of the show, I asked the question: is Splyce a top 4 team? I think if they lose this game, and they're likely going to, pretty solid answer, right? No. And what will mean is both of these teams, SK and Splyce, will have a 3-4 win-loss record. Take a look at the strength of schedule. As Kabi will escape with his life. Take a look at the strength of schedule for SK Gaming. Their last few games to end the first half of the split is going up against Rogue, Vitality, and Fnatic. We'll get that up in just a moment as SK take their 6th tower of the game. They've got the gold lead, and for SK, if they can pick up a surprise win against Vitality and the rematch from Fnatic, pick that up at 2-0, like a head-to-head advantage when it comes to tiebreakers is so important in trying to climb up the standings.
Yeah, and we didn't really want to talk too much about the P word in week 4, but this is a game really you have to win if you want to make playoffs, and Splyce are finally going to be proactive.
Yes, they are going to try, but they're not going to find a target just yet. They're waiting for the Xin Zhao ultimate to turn off. Can't get the damage down until it has. Death from below is being held up, waiting to see for Norskirin. Can he find a target to drop down? There's a Chachi, I think he mistimed that ulti, flew straight over the GA. Now big damage from Humanoid, and still nobody goes down. Team fights this game have just been slowly chipping away, and Humanoid escapes with his life.
Xerxes is completely unable to get into any of these team fights with his paranoia, and it's absolutely costing his team right now. They're basically playing these team fights 4v5 because he can't get in. You know, and I'm not saying Xerxes himself is playing it poorly. It's his champion, it's Nocturne. If Nocturne jumps in right here, you know, he can't be that primary engage. And Vizichachi is the only one tanky enough to do that. But SK just have so much damage. This is partially why you have that Cassiopeia banned, because you are so good at just tearing into these front lines. And until that Guardian Angel is complete from Xerxes, you know, when that happens, maybe we'll see him be a bit more willing to jump into those team fights and just dive into the backline. But he's not doing too much right now. He's not able to.
All right, Foxtrot, 32 minutes into the game. Gold is even.
Yeah.
The super minions will be stopping fairly soon in that mid lane. So Splyce still have an opportunity. If they can blow up Self-Made or Crown Shot, they have enough damage, but they've just been playing very defensive, very reactive. And I actually can't wait to go watch back the team fights, because so many of them, people have gotten away with slivers of HP. Small differences, individual, you know, ability uses is what's making or breaking the game. And SK, one clutch mid lane catch. Open it up, let them get Baron, and let, you know, SK Gaming now arrest control. Maybe they've got the Mega Evolution or the Double Evolution Charizard before Splyce can get there.
Yeah, and if we're going to go for an analogy that you'll use, maybe the Charizard can ignite the Rift and leave the Ashes behind.
Oh, very nicely done.
In SK's wake.
SK Gaming are going to look for an initiation once again. Paranoia is available for Xerxes, and here come SK. The supers have been pulled, preventing any additional siege, and this is good play from Splyce, thwarting SK's easy access to Baron. But now both teams have swapped sides, and SK are calling the bluff. Where do they go?
Well, do SK get sandwiched here? My problem is that Splyce have an issue with pulling the trigger. Like, who's going to go in first?
Yep.
If it was the other way around, you'd hear San yelling cowards and jumping into them. You'd have Warlib going forward with the electric danger zone, or whatever Medic calls it. And, you know, you'd just be going crazy, but Splyce don't really have that ability to do that just yet. What I really want to look at, and what I think is going to be the make or break for Splyce this game, is what Humanoid can do. He's very strong. He's able to. He has so much damage here. He's even got that Void Staff. Like, he's gonna.
He's looking for Dream.
Look at that damage.
1-2. Not gonna find the kill just yet, because Kobe actually helps him out. Final tick is secured by Humanoid. There goes Xerxes. He now jumps onto Pyrian in the mid lane. Teleport comes down from Vizichachi. He's looking for some more damage. Splyce
so close.
have found themselves a pick. Crown Shot steps forward. Petrifying Gaze is available. Doesn't stun anybody. Norskirin finds a hook, but there's no damage to follow it. And Splyce get themselves a kill. They get a tower in the bottom lane, and this game is still far from over.
They get themselves that free kill. We were just mentioning it, Humanoid. We want to see him be able to do some more things. He has so much damage. He completely deleted Dreams off of the map right there. And Splyce were very close to picking up Pyrion. And if that happened, you think there's a good chance that Baron would be on the... Does Selfade really have the highest damage on his team for this game?
Yes, he does.
What is that?
Humanoid sitting on the side.
Humanoid is popping off too.
Smashing away. Again, let's not be surprised that Selfmade's doing well for SK.
But that is beyond doing well.
It's just 5-2 to 100% kill participation, and it's impressive. It is impressive, but
it is impressive. That is extremely impressive.
It's also to go back to the drafts. We talked a lot. Can SK create the space for Crown Shot to get the damage down? The answer has been mostly no.
Mostly no, and the answer has also been, but does it matter? Also mostly no. Like, SK have been able to play a game where they've been getting picks. Splyce have been playing a bit too far forward here. And honestly, I think a lot of this could be a mental thing for Splyce as well. They felt like they've been on the back foot and they haven't been wanting to make those aggressive plays, those proactive plays. But especially for Humanoid.
Oh, okay. Good
nice.
Damage. Nicely done by Humanoid. Remember, both of these teams had 0-2 weeks last week, and that might be where the nerves come from. Humanoid, whoa, with the help of Norscarin. There's a death from below, but the Slicing Maelstrom gets 2 back. It's a 2-for-2. As the cleanup fight commences, Cobby is looking to run down Selfmade. An AD carry versus an AD carryless team means Cobby runs rampant. Splyce have now access to the Baron pit, and they have no jungle on the opposition side.
That's going to be Baron for Splyce as well, and it all starts with Humanoid. The confident play right there to double distort into the 2 carries. Chunks them down and actually picks up Crown Shot on the backside of that as well. And he hasn't been able to do too much this game, but right now, these past 5-10 minutes, he's really turned it up, and he's carrying Splyce.
The AoE damage when Humanoid and Norscarin double dunked, the distortion and death from below.
Oh yeah, but just look at that poke. That's hard. That's just, oh gosh. There's so much, there's just so much going down, and he even finds, he's lurking in the top side, and SK know that, and they have to respect it. Like, you can't even fight on the front side of the map where you've got Xerxes, you've got Cobby, and you've got Vizicachi. You can't deal with those because you're too worried about the LeBlanc. So when you get a LeBlanc down and Norscarin falls with him, it's almost like, okay, that's dealt with now. Now what's next? Oh crap, there's Cobby, there's Xerxes, there's Vizicachi, and they just lose the fight.
Of course, this replay brought to you by Alienware, and such a good play. Humanoid hanging out on the periphery, and I feel bad for SK because they didn't. It was the one time that they didn't have vision. I've been looking at the minimap a lot, and SK have been very, very diligent with warding, pushing into Splyce's jungle, and unfortunately Humanoid had one gap, one opportunity, and Splyce in a 5k gold up got Baron, and they're the ones sieging.
Well, Vedius isn't here today because sadly he's ill. Get well soon, buddy, if you're watching at home. So I'm going to try and channel my inner Vedius and say they're skipping steps. They're not putting the vision down. And, you know, maybe that's the inexperience of the squad. Maybe that's where they're just... You're getting a little bit twitchy because, you know, you're actually really close to winning and we're getting 40 minutes in. But this is what happens, you know. If you're playing versus kind of that predatory mid laner, that kind of vulture who's lurking around, then you have to have that vision.
And also, it goes back to something you were saying earlier, Foxtrot, that Splyce don't really have like a traditional frontline engage. You know, yes, they have engaged tools with a Nocturne and a Pike, but they're very squishy and it's very risky. If it doesn't go right, you get blown up. In contrast to the likes of a Scion, the Zins are backing him up, right? So when Splyce finally got an opportunity to play the slightly more skirmish game with Humanoid, looking to just combo and poke and play on the flanks, that was when Splyce looked the best. So it's 37 minutes in. Splyce are still pushing to arrest control this game, and I'm looking at the fan vote, by the way, on the prediction game. Every single person predicted Splyce to win this game, and fairly frequently, that means that we all are wrong. Caster curse is a thing.
I mean, if Romain had predicted SK to win, they probably would be winning right now. He's usually the only one sticking out like a sore thumb and getting it right. But you mentioned before about how the success of Splyce has come through LeBlanc being able to kind of just get in there, do a little bit of damage. The real dedicated engage hasn't been what Splyce has been able to do. I highlighted when Xerxes picked up the Guardian Angel, he might be able to do a little bit more of that. But if we look, not only does he have the GA, but he also has the stopwatch. So he can absolutely be that primary engage now. and Humanoid with the Banshees, it's much easier for him to jump over walls or whatever, or just jump into teams and just do exactly what he's doing right here. See, I really think this is a mental thing for rookie players where suddenly you're like, wait, I'm strong, wait, I can do this, and they just turn it on, and the EU mid thing where actually these ridiculously talented people just start popping up in games. This is, to me, what I'm seeing from Humanoid.
It does make me excited when you can see the potential of the players. You can see the ceiling, right? And even if it is glimpses, it's not consistent. That's what you develop and practice over the season. By the way, better late than never, okay? 20 minutes ago, I asked my stats team to start perusing through the database. I didn't know it was a printed paper database. I had to fold a lot of papers and dig through it. Okay, a lot of records to look through. But they have, and they have confirmed that this is the latest first tower at 1955. They beat the previous record by 8 seconds. Because the previous record was G2 versus XL, and that was 19 minutes and 47 seconds. So not only was the quick stats instincts correct, but stats confirmed it. So good job, team. All right, there's the engage now from Splyce, but is this the fight that they want? Is it Chachi? Can't find the fear beyond death just yet. Nobody's low enough. Death sentence into Flay, and now Chachi puts the damage down to Pyrian. Pyrian escaping for his life. Nobody's going down yet. It's beefy meat tank versus beefy meat tank. And another beefy meat tank gets hit, and nobody dies again. Although Whirlip is in a little bit of trouble. The chains, the proc, the electro the turnaround. And finally, somebody dies.
The return kill right there as well. And Splyce, oh gosh, they're going to get the Elder Dragon.
They do indeed. All right, Splyce pick up a 3-Dragon Elder, but can they get away with their lives? North Scaring goes for a dive, trying to do what he can. Does he get the death from below? Out, and now Kobe's running for his life. Vizichachi gets caught by the decimating smash, and it's a rumble in the jungle as Vizichachi is getting caught out, helped out by Kobe. Simply too late to the party.
Yo, is that... Oh, the burn almost had him right there.
Very, very close. 1 minute to Baron. Death timer, 1 minute for Chachi. Probably too risky. Look, exposed inhibitors for both teams. 7,000 gold advantage for Splyce plus Elder, and we are still no clearer to finding a winner.
This whole team fight, for the starters, looked like the most boring thing in the history of mankind. And then bam, it all kicks off right here. And SK, Whirlip with the sick turnaround right there, plays it perfectly. Trading kills back, but Splyce had already started Elder Dragon while this was going on. It's ridiculously low health. Selfmade does get into the pit. This could have very easily been a steal for SK as well, which would have been like hugely beneficial for them. But then the important thing right here is that Splyce have Kobe and Xerxes, that's the one, surviving on the downside here, because they still have the Elder Dragon proc. And that's going to be quite important if they want to be able to stop this Baron going down, which is spawning in about a minute, because Vizichachi has just spawned. And SK are around, whereas I don't think they can do the Baron. What I think they should have done here is get around Baron and get the vision down and set up and maybe get Splyce to come and face check you. They do have a bit of vision around, but I think maybe they could have
done a little bit more.
Maybe done a little bit more right there.
Well,
but
look at the gold graph here, Foxtrot. That climb from Splyce.
Yeah, if they see this,
and also look at the scale, by the way. So SK have never been 1,000 gold up over Splyce this game, whereas Splyce are currently, you know, over 7,000 gold up. And the climb where SK pulled it back was that mid lane fight that then Splyce lost the Baron, they lost control, but they've been able to regain control. 12 kills to 14, 7 towers to 8, 2 dragons to 3. These teams are very evenly matched, and this late into the game, one right play can win it. Baron is started by SK and Splyce are challenging.
Don't forget the crown shot as well with the Cassiopeia. He's going to be able to melt through like a machine gun onto that Baron. Good old Naran Basher won't be long for this world if Splyce gives them the window to go and take it.
All right, there are super minions in the bottom lane pushing towards SK. I can see 2 of them on the mini-map, so someone from SK is going to have to deal with that. Thank you, observers, for the pip. Teleports available for Whirlip, Pyrian, and Crown Shot. The reason I'm yelling at you is I'm very, very anxious for this next fight, and they have been some very dramatic, intriguing,
delayed drama as well. The best kind of drama where you think it's not happening and then it all kicks off.
I mean, that big, like, Chachi and Pyrian just trading damage for entire teams are not dying.
Look at Humanoid's positioning here.
If Humanoid can find Crown Shot, this is going to be an easy win. Baron is starting to reset. Teleports and Culling's used, so those are some big cooldowns. Chachi's in the pit! Chachi's in the pit! He goes down the exhaust, he's waiting to find it! That was a blast! Cone! Suicide! But will it get turned around? He's going to be alive just for a few more seconds. Chachi needs to get some support from the team. Not going to happen! He goes for the disdain, turns the damage back onto SK. That was a self-kill suicide by Splyce. And now SK Gaming have the numbers advantage in the pits.
We're getting G2 flashbacks right here. Kobe is TPing into the bottom side of the map.
Okay,
It's going to be answered, though.
is going to mid by a teleport as well. It's Pyrian that has rejoined in the mid lane.
Ooh.
This has stopped the fight. And I need to take a look at who hit that blast code, because that was so close to being disastrous.
Even though they are wearing yellow kits, this is not Vitality. This is Splyce. You cannot teleport to the bot lane and have it work 100% of the time. Here it is. So here's the blast cone. What even happens here? Don't tell me it's Norscaran. Oh, Norscaran! What are you doing, Sully Jim? See, but Vitality has no flash because he put his flash out for an exhaust. But this is where Splyce has completely give up on Visitcharge. You know, I think this is a bit of a mistake where I think, you know, Cersei, just go in there. You have Guardian Angel, you have Soulwatch, just go in. And, you know, they leave Visitcharge to his doom, and SK now, they're on the Baron.
I felt as betrayed watching that as when I did Anakin killing the younglings in Star Wars. Now Selfie gets pulled over the fence and he gets knocked back, manages to escape with his life for now. Baron is picked up by SK Gaming, but Splyce needs to win this fight. Cersei's gonna go down, he's got GA to get back up, needs to get some damage. Visitchachi will help pop the GA of Selfmade. Nobody's officially dead just yet. It's just items being popped and cracked and passive. Royland looks for the Maelstrom, won't be able to do anything else. Fear Beyond Death, that's one. Splyce are smashing the fight,
Look at
and
the base.
Super Minions are smashing the base. It all comes down to this. Crowd shot to defend the Nexus.
He's the lone man. There are no teleports on Splyce, but will it be enough for SK to hold on right here? Crown Shot is a one-man army, and Splyce are looking for that bot side. They're going for the finish here.
And I'm going to be self-indulgent because that's what I like. Here's a quick stat for you. The longest game of the Spring Split. Of course it features Splyce. They are pushing onto the Nexus turret. They have already caught Crown Shot. Yes, he gets a petrifying gaze, but he is blown up where he stands. And Splyce will take down SK. Let's try that again. Splyce will take down SK.
Better late than never, Trevor. And Splyce, they're totally happy with that as well. This is not the first time that it's taken a little while for Splyce to come online and to close out a game. But we wouldn't have any... Oh, Peter Dunn does not look happy. Did you see him coming out of the tunnel right there? That was not... He is not chuffed, I can tell you that much. Oh boy, I don't want to be with Splyce.
It's an intriguing game.
Yes.
Okay? Because I want to acknowledge it was a win.
It was a win.
But it leaves question marks, okay? And the only reason I want to highlight it, and normally I'm a little bit more upbeat and positive, but at the beginning of the day, I asked if Splyce could contend with top 4, and yes, they've won this game, but I don't know if I'm confident to say I believe it just yet. SK, on the other hand, heartbreaking.
Oh, yeah.
They arrested control of their game and couldn't maintain it.
It really... Heartbreaking is the perfect words. Like... SK coming into LEC with a lot to prove. A lot of people had them chalked down as the number 10 team in the league. And honestly, they'd exceeded expectations early on.
Yep.
Especially that win against Fnatic.
Yep.
And in the games that we've seen them, they've not looked terrible by any means.
And I think it's important to acknowledge as well that as we've learned more about Fnatic and expectations, it's now redefined how we view things, right?
Sure.
Much like this game helps redefine certain things. I think Frostgirl is going to be extremely happy on the analyst desk after talking about the Splyce a slightly better version, and it plays out in such a similar way.
We definitely gave that its run for its money. We stretched that one out a little bit. But no, it's like...
You could just say you killed it, Trev. That you could be direct,
we didn't,
Foxy.
We just, you know... We just kind of went with it, and now it's no longer alive. But if we were seeing SK right there, they just, you want to say redefining expectations. If SK win this one and they're a 3-3 team, 500 team, then suddenly, hey, is this team gonna come into P word? I know, but maybe.
I know, maybe. I mean, we're getting close. Week 4, week 5, you start setting expectations. We do actually have a replay for you. It's that final fight in the Baron, and this is after the blast cone shenanigans. But it looked very, very scary.
It looked. This was one of those fights that's just impossible to call until it's over. Because Xerxes finally gets his ultimate that he's been looking for. He jumps into the pit. He's got his stopwatch. He's got his GA, so he's able to buy a lot of time. But the real man of the match for this fight right here has to be Kobe, as it very often is the unsung hero of Splyce. The player they built around this year. I'm not going to say a word that rhymes with franchise, but it's you know, it's sort of one of those kind of words. But you know, Kobe just sitting free hitting in the backside, like he's able to do these things. He's really good at doing it, and he won in the team fight.
Yeah, he absolutely did. So Kia Player of the Game nominees are as follows: Humanoid, Kobe, and Norskeren. Head over to @LOL Esports on Twitter and vote. I think it's difficult depending on different parts of the game. Like Norskeren shined, you know, incredibly in the early game.
Yeah, mid game Humanoids, and late game Kobe. So it's a
debate. All right, we are standing by with Medic, and he will be interviewing Foxdrop's dad's favorite player, Norskeren.
Thank you very much, Quickshot. So you're Foxdrop's dad's favorite player. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate it. I think I've been playing pretty decent this season, so yeah, I'm just looking forward to do it better.
Yeah, do you think when he watched you click the blast cone and knock Chachi into the pit, he was feeling really confident in your play?
I have no idea how I did it. Like, this could have cost us the game, as he did versus G2. Where, I don't know, I really hate blast cone, actually.
It's obviously the sixth man for the enemy team at the moment. I want to talk about Splyce as a team. Lots of people are saying after last week's 0-2, you're not looking as strong, you're not a top 4 team anymore. Where do you think you rank?
I mean, last week we played G2 and Schalke, which I think are the top 2 teams. They're like another level of everyone else. And we almost beat G2, or like, we had some iffy plays, and the blast cone, of course, but I think we match up pretty well against the top 4 at least. That's like at least what we're trying to do right now, like squeeze us into the top 4, because I think we are not like ready to go top 2 yet, or top 3 even, but we're just steadily improving, I would say.
Okay, so if you were to make your top 4, G2 Schalke, then who is in the rest of the top 4?
Hard to say. I think actually Misfits or Vitality, one of those.
You still put Misfits there, even though they're slumping at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, they have really good players, so I think even though they have a slump, they're still a good team, I think. And they have, like, ways to come back, I think.
Makes a lot of sense. I want to talk about Splyce's play style, because that game you guys got a good early game lead. Mid-game was, like, really odd, really strange.
Yeah.
And then somehow you managed to play the longest game in LEC history and have the highest average game time of any team. Why does Splyce always play for the late game?
I think we don't really play for the late game. It's just that we have such good drafts, I think, so we have like a fallback. That's why, like, I think in the end the team with a better draft wins, of course, because like it's going to be a team fight, kind of, or else maybe 1-3-1. But I think this game we had better draft, so it kind of saved us in the end. But we didn't really play that well. We should have ended much faster.
Yeah. And how do you feel about your own personal play at the moment? You said, like, we were talking a little bit before the thing, you said, feel like you're playing pretty well. Do you think you're at the top tier of supports in EU?
I mean, I don't really think I'm top 3, which is my goal, so I don't really, like, care that much, like, how I am right now. I just want to improve, like, work on my improvement, like, individually, and it's just what I'm looking forward to most.
Well, no other support has stolen Infernal Drake with Smite, so good job on that, Norskeren. And congratulations again on the win. Hopefully we'll see you again tomorrow. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back after this.
Almost got him killed, but
Oh my goodness! Death from below comes down. Hourglass has been used. Xerxes is the first one to go down. Paranoia helped only a little. There's one for Kobe. They're trading kills back and forth. Imperial's looking to run down Norskeren.
Where's one?
Once again, a defensive nocturnal. Vizichachi goes down. Death sentence finds a target onto Kobe. Although Whirlip is in a little bit of trouble. The chains to proc the electro. The turnaround. And finally, somebody dies.
Look. Can we end? We can end.
And Splyce will take down SK. Let's try that again.